we're having one or two communication problems. We will, before the end of the show, join up with Derek Johnston. Carabao Cup returns to beIN Sports screens next week. Bristol City have got the plum tie. Not only are they going that well in the Championship, they could, dependent upon what Mourinho and Manchester United turn up with, find themselves in the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup. Their manager is Lee Johnson.
The dream's there, absolutely, and the dream's alive, isn't it, at the moment? So we have to do everything possible to fast track that dream. Has it come a little bit early for us to be in this position? Maybe, but we certainly recruited very well in the summer. We've been working very hard to invest in our younger players, both through the academy and the ones that we've brought in, and that's really fast tracked our position at the moment. There's a lot of very, very good teams in the Championship, and we have to play at our maximum to compete. But I think the players have got the structure in their game, they've now got the understanding of what I'm after, and we've got some very good players as well. So if we can continue that work ethic and the ethos of the football club, then why not? Listen, when you draw Man United at home, there's an unbelievable buzz around the city at the moment. The sheer magnitude and the size of the club and the history of the club. This club hasn't had a cup game like that in a long, long time. So there's a real good feel-good factor at the moment in and around the city, and who knows, if we can give everything and get a little bit of luck on the way, we might just beat them.
You don't have any sympathy for me because you asked for it, didn't you? Literally.
We did, yeah. We wanted it, particularly at home, because I just felt that the club deserved it. You know, you see Steve Lansdown, the owner, he's invested so much in the infrastructure of the football club, not just the football club, but sport in Bristol as a whole. And I just think that when that type of club comes to the city, everybody gets picked up, and you should never underestimate the effect of the results in and around the community.
You went to Old Trafford to watch the derby. What was your tactical assessment of it?
Yeah, I was trying to pretend that I could formulate a plan to beat Man United, and no, it was good. Listen, it was unbelievable, because the people that you're communicating with in environments like that. I was 20 minutes with Gareth Southgate, Steve Bruce, Alex Ferguson walked in, Brian Marwood at Manchester City, and I'm sat there sort of holding court and enjoying listening to the conversation. So any game I can get to, Premier League game, is educational for me, because I'm so busy with the relentless nature of the Championship, planning for the next one. But it was a way of me of getting in the psyche really of the manager and understanding the team structure and the way he wants them to play. If I can get 5 or 10 minutes with Jose either before the game or after the game, that would be great, but I'm sure in the dugout I won't be respecting the fact that he's probably the world's best manager.
It is warfare. Where do you keep the milk?
Yeah, milk, flour, and yeah, we'll make sure that's all out the change rooms and the staff room, that's for sure.
Brown reporting. He seems like a very nice guy. Still excited by the company of compatriots, counterparts, and the greatness that he was in. Yeah.
I think the big thing about that club, Richard, is that Steve Lansdown, you mentioned Steve Lansdown. Steve Lansdown, he was having a poor time last year. I think they won just one game in the last 8 or 9 games, and the City supporters had turned against Lee. And it wasn't a great atmosphere. I watched the last game when Birmingham actually won to stay up, and there wasn't a great atmosphere around the place, but Steve Lansdown has stuck with him, and you know that shows again the loyalty sometimes
our
pays
very
off.
own Angus Scott is a Bristol City fan.
Yes,
I think he was of the opinion once or twice last year that Johnson had to go.
Johnson had to go. He jumped on that Johnson must go bandwagon. Yeah. Ashamed of yourself, Angus.
Final word on Johnson. Does every manager's office still have a whiteboard upon which fixtures are filled in like that one?
Yes.
It's good to know, isn't it, in the modern world?
Yes.
That's good to know.
Well, my office did.
You did, yeah.
Premier League fixtures this weekend. All of these games live across our beIN Sports channels. All these games live. It's a formula that every other broadcaster in the world is trying to emulate, and they can't. You'll only find it with us here. Tony, one of our guests, and Clive Allen will be joining us as well through Saturday and Sunday. Oh,
And
Jason McAteer's here.
Don't forget
Jason McAteer's here to pass comment on his beloved Liverpool. Right, still to come on Keys and Gray. We are hoping to catch up with Derek Johnston and the legend that is John Cross, the chief football writer of the Daily Mirror. Up next.
In every game they play so far, I have seen, they are taking charge of the game. In every game, always the possession, move the ball around. They have players, 4 or 5 players, they're so good one against one, the individual skills. So it's very difficult to stop Man City because they don't have 1 or 2 players that you have to stop. They really have a lot. And then if they having problems, they just take 4 or 5 from the bench. They almost have 2 teams.
And of course, Michael Laudrup, who played with both Real Madrid and Barcelona during a glittering career, now passing verdict on Pep Guardiola's Manchester City. Now, yes, winning they are. They've set a new Premier League record, but they're also noising people up. Manchester United, most recently. John Cross, the chief football writer of the Daily Mirror, joins us. John, do we know any more about exactly what happened in that tunnel after the derby last week?
No, I don't think we do really. Well, I think I've read so many forensic reports this week that it's that I don't know that anything is left to chance. But look, I think tempers were really pumped up. And look, Man City do celebrate and loudly. I guess that it's important to win with grace as it is indeed to lose with dignity. I do think that maybe United, I mean, Jose Mourinho declarations had been a poor loser and just didn't like the music so loud, and I think it did kick off from there. It was funny, Wednesday night, some of my colleagues were telling me that basically in the press room, the away dressing room backs onto the pressing room, so it's an adjoining wall. And basically the music was so loud, so pumped up that you could hear every single, decibel, every note while the press conference was going on. So, that's what Man City are at the moment. I think it's going to become a running theme. With every victory, it's going to be a very loud post-match party.
John, apologies incidentally for our signal at the moment. Let's just see if we can pursue just a little further our conversation with John. John, 70 million I'm reading on the back page of the Mirror today for Van Dijk that Guardiola is going to spend in January. What strength is there in that story?
Yeah, it's an interesting one, that Richard, because I do think that for a long, long time, believe me, Van Dijk was set on leaving Southampton, but set on leaving for one place, and that was Liverpool. He was so absolutely blown away by Liverpool's ambition and desire to sign him that's the only place that indeed he wanted to go. So look, I think Man City were one of the clubs that I think made an approach and made.
How's he reacted when that happened?
And that's why I like him, because he's been exactly the same. He's always come in the office afterwards. I'm pretty old school in respect to getting the managers in, and we sit down, have a bite to eat, and a few drinks. And like I said, Fergie was always in there, but he always beat us. So you'd always think, what would he be like if one day we turned him over? Would he be the same? But
do you think it's getting to him? This Guardiola and Manchester City, and he's at this huge club, United, with all that history, and yet across the street they seem to be commanding all the headlines.
Yeah, every time you see him, you don't see him happy. That's the thing with Jose. When he was at Chelsea and flying at Chelsea, he was happy. He looked as though that was his club and everything was running to the beat of his drum. But he'll get there. Whether it's this year or next year. If obviously they'll want to keep him, I should imagine. He'll get there and he'll make him more determined. He's not one of them that will give up.
Yeah.
Well, Jurgen Klopp copped a fair bit of criticism following the Merseyside derby last week. Team selection, as much as anything else, is what was perturbing a number of Liverpool fans. Left 2 of the Fab Four out, didn't he? Current record as manager is not yet as good as Brendan Rodgers. Something he's having to deal with and address you would have thought sooner rather than later, and it's a subject matter that John Barnes took up this week.
I think it's as well as can be expected, very much like I think Brendan Rodgers did as well as could be expected. The harmony wasn't, and the belief in Brendan Rodgers may have gone, which is why he's not there anymore, because the records are similar, but the belief and the harmony in the club is stronger now. The record isn't necessarily stronger, but that is a starting point for us to move forward, because you have to have that togetherness, that belief to then move forward. But I don't think, with what he has at his disposal, we should be finishing first or second or even third in that respect. So therefore, for us to, we got to the Europa League final. We finished fourth in the league, and I think all you can ask any manager to do is maximise the potential of that team, of any team, and I think he's done that. Now, obviously, with better players, we will then probably demand a bit more. But with what he has at his disposal, I don't think anyone could have done any better.
Wow. Well, maybe not. We did ask, and that is John's opinion. But for me, a Liverpool team settling to finish second or third in a
Fourth,
season, maybe even fourth.
No, he said he doesn't expect to finish second or third.
Yeah.
He says fourth's about the best that team could do, which I'm staggered by. I mean, he talked about with what he's got at his disposal. Yes, a huge amount of talent.
The big thing with Liverpool, and the big thing with Klopp is that, and right from the start, Richard, I think the way they play football, the way they go forward, and the numbers they commit forward is absolutely fantastic. What he's never done, he's never sorted out the balance of the team. You play with the ball and you play without the ball. And he's always missed, I think, one or two players behind the ball to make that team a team that.
So you'd always fancy your chances against them?
You'd always know that they would definitely score or cause you problems, but you always believed you'd have a chance of scoring against them.
I think that's still, people believe that. I see it when I'm sat here a week into, and when Everton went one down, I wasn't worried, because you know that you're going to, even if Everton playing the way they were always going to get a chance, and if they took that chance, they were always Liverpool. And never one you could say like Mourinho. Mourinho went 1 up, 2 up, that was it. Game over. With Liverpool, I never feel that.
Jason McAteer with us this weekend to continue this conversation. You're watching Keys and Gray live on beIN Sports. We'll hear from Michael Laudrup again shortly, and fingers crossed, big DJ, Derek Johnston, the Rangers legend. And so to Michael Laudrup, the former Barcelona and Real Madrid genius. He's currently coaching here in Qatar at Al Rayyan. Some of the opinion that it should be elsewhere in the world that he's coaching, but he's not necessarily of that view. He's thoroughly enjoying himself right now, and we caught up with him midweek.
Yes, so I will not be one of these guys. I respect them a lot, but I will not be one of these at 60, 65 or 70 years old will still be sitting on the bench there and coaching a team. I don't know when I will stop, but I think well, you can say I have a future behind me. I don't have so many long time again. I think I said last year that Al Rayyan here could be my last or my second last club. I don't know yet, but this is just to explain that I don't see myself in 5-6 years. I don't see myself on the bench, because I want to live another kind of life as well. I don't have to enjoy, but there's no perfect life here in the world, a perfect job in the world. It does not exist. I'm here, I'm happy here. I can work with football. I don't have that pressure from the outside like in Spain or even in Denmark. And this is another thing. Suddenly time is going, and suddenly you look and say, oh, what time is it? I'm 65. I mean, years going, the months and the years, and as I said, I also want to live another kind of life.
Well, it's great that he's working in Qatar. I think it's been a real plus for the Qatar Stars League. It raises the standard. But there are those who think he should be elsewhere and working perhaps at a bigger football club in Europe. But he's thoroughly enjoying himself, and a really nice guy, isn't he?
He must have a really, really good relationship with his wife if he's saying he's going to pack it in at 60. My wife can't wait to get me out again. No, he's a top player, top lad as well, yeah.
Do you think he'll change his mind when he gets to 60?
I'm not sure. I think it's what offers he gets, really, as much as anything, Richard. I think if he gets offered a job in Europe, a top club in Europe again, he'd most probably give it another go.
Yeah, it'd be hard to say no. Whatever he says now, whatever he's thinking now, it's once you take that, going in, working with players, managing, coaching, setting out tactics to win games, seeing what it's like, feeling what it's like to win a game, feeling what it's like to lose a game. Once that's out your life, there's a huge void there that's really difficult to fill.
What actually do you do in the morning when you're used to getting up at 5:30, 6:30 and travelling to work?
Yeah. No, I spend, like I say, I spend an hour, 2 hours in the gym. I do a lot of walking. It's lovely down where I live because I can get on the beach in 5 minutes. So to walk down the beach as well after that, after breakfast, take Deb out.
That's Bournemouth, yes?
Down in Bournemouth. So, no, I've played a bit of golf. Something that I want to do better when I actually do hang my boots up.
But you're not hanging your boots up?
No, not at all. No, not a chance, not yet. It's still life and dog yet.
Quite right.
But firefighting is something that you and that was the irony of your sacking at West Brom, wasn't it? That they went looking for Tony Pulis really to get them out of trouble, but they already had him.
I think it's a bit like Dicey. I think you get pigeonholed at times, and you have to accept it. Big Sam has got it during his career. But no one holds a gun to my head to do these jobs, and no one says that you have to do them. You know, I do it because I love doing it and because I love the game. And as I've said before, it's not just, you know, the club I'm working with. I love football. You know, whether it's non-league football, whether it's a game on a Sunday. I've got grandchildren. A little Luca, who's 4.5, will walk down to Poole Park Sunday morning, and we'll stand on the side and watch, you know, a Sunday league team play, and it makes no difference to me. It's a game of football. I still enjoy it as much.
Do you think, Tony, the big guys could do what you do?
And keep teams up. I think it'd be a different challenge for them. I think one example, and you know, unfortunately, I missed Rafa on the spin round leaving West Brom, but it'd be interesting to see what he's feeling like. You know, I did speak to Walter Smith, who had Everton for 2 years when they're down at the bottom of the Premiership, and he said to me, Tone, that they were the worst 2 years of my life.
Really?
I couldn't handle it. In the end, it really got to me. And he said, for you to do it 10 years, I just can't believe how you've done it. But it's a different pressure, Richard, in lots of respects.
Were you ready to leave West Brom? Was the time right?
Yeah, the time was right. I think 3 years now. Well, I think now it'll spin even to 2 years out.
Oh, really? Wow.
I think it'll be a 2-year cycle, and then the next one will come in. I think everything's turned. It's not just players; it's supporters. Everybody wants something fresh. Everybody wants something new, and even if it's not fresh and new, it's a different voice.
There is, of course, a vacancy at Rangers, but Dave King, the majority shareholder there, has said there's nobody available with the correct credentials to take this job.
No, let me tell you though, when he said that, Tony wasn't available.
No, but Alex McLeish was.
Yeah.
Well,
arguably the most decorated manager in Rangers history. Derek Johnston, the legend
don't want Derek
that is, Big
No,
DJ, joins us on the telephone to tell us just exactly what is happening, because Derek McInnes a week ago we all thought was taking it. He subsequently changed his mind, and Graham Murty remains in temporary charge. Derek, how big a mess are Rangers in?
I think off the park, I think they're in a terrible mess. You know, Graham Murty, you know, the under-20 development coach, is now taken over. And to be fair to him, in the 7 games that he's taken charge, he's won 5. You know, and in that 5, he's won 2 games against Aberdeen. He's won away at Hibs. He's won away at Hearts. So he's doing well, but he won't get the job. I think Rangers are looking for a name, and tell you what, Tony Pulis was saying, I would take Tony Pulis in a minute at Rangers. I think what he does for clubs is the same as Big Sam. I think he gets the best out of players, and I think that's what the Rangers board are looking for. They're looking for someone who's going to come in. There's not going to be an awful lot of money to spend. I think they've got a basis of a decent side, and they play well. It's just getting them to do that at a consistent level. And I think that's why they're taking their time again, that they're looking around, they've got plenty of CVs in. They thought that Derek McInnes would have taken the job. Now that for his own reasons, he's decided not to, and he's quite entitled to do that. You know, they didn't have a plan B. I think probably the plan B was, Graham Murty, you take over to the end of December, because you're doing quite well anyway. You're steadying the ship. But they've got to get somebody in fairly quickly, Richard, because, as you know, every team likes to strengthen in January. And the Rangers don't have a manager. Who then decides what players are coming in? Is it Graham? Or they've just recruited a man from Manchester City, Mark Allen, who's the director of football. You know, is he the man that will go out and bring players in? And if somebody else comes in February, will they like these players? You know, there's so many questions to be asked. But first and foremost, Rangers have to get somebody in at the helm. The fans are getting a bit restless, but to be fair to them, in the last 3 or 4 games when they've beaten Aberdeen twice, beaten Hibs, the fans are a wee bit happier because Graham Murty's doing a fine job. But in the long term, they need to get someone in very, very quickly.
Well, Derek, why is there not an issue here that you could say to Graham, carry on, you might as well take it now to the end of the season, give us 4 or 5 months to sort ourselves out? As you said, behind the scenes it might be shambolic, but on the football field, where it really matters to fans, as you said, he's done well. Why don't they give it to Graham to the rest of the season?
Well, I wouldn't mind that at all if they gave it some. I think the worry is the Rangers board will want to come out and tell the supporters exactly what's happening. I think Graham's already on record saying, look, you're going to ask me about players in January. He says, what I've done, he says, I work closely with Mark Allen. He says, what I will say to him, I won't tell him about players that I want. What I will say is, I'm short at the back, I need a centre half, I need a hard-tackling midfielder, and I think we're going to need a big centre forward. Then it's up to the likes of Mark Allen to go out and try and bring in what he can in January. Now, I don't expect Mark Allen to go out and buy players, because if a new man comes in again, he might not like them. So I would think with the contacts that he has down south in England, he may well try to get a couple of loan players in. And probably then, Andy, we could call them the Lone Rangers.
Derek, when Dave King said there's nobody available at the moment that fits the criteria, he must have been of the opinion that McInnes was going to take it. What happened exactly?
Well, we don't really know. I mean, Rangers waited 7 weeks after Pedro Caixinha, got the sack. And they wanted to take their time and get all the CVs in and find out who was actually interested in the job. But when it boiled down to everything, I think Derek McInnes was the man. After 6.5 weeks, they've then gone to the Aberdeen chairman, Stuart Milne, and said, look, we want permission to speak to Derek. So they've obviously discussed, a fee with Aberdeen, compensation and everything else. But he then said, no, I'm not allowing you to talk to Derek. And what he did, to be fair to Stuart Milne, he got Derek in the office and said, look, he says, I know you were a boyhood Rangers fan, I know you've played for the club, you love the club, you were there 5 years, and it's a big, big decision for you. Away and take 48 hours off, go and talk to your family, go and talk to your backroom staff, talk to friends or whoever, and then come back to me and tell me what you want to do. Now, at this moment in time, Aberdeen are talking about building a new stadium on the outskirts of Aberdeen. And Derek's enjoyed himself up there. He's enjoyed a fair bit of success as well. He's many friends up there. And I think he's thought to himself, well, I don't want to leave this. I mean, Rangers are in disarray at this moment in time. It's a sort of cushy number, if you can call it that, up at Aberdeen. But he enjoys the people he works with. He enjoys getting on with the chairman. He enjoys the fans. They all want him. The players want him to stay. And I think he sat down and went, no, I don't want to go there just now. I'm quite happy at Aberdeen. I mean, that's the way I'm looking at it. Only Derek can tell you what's different. But he's decided Aberdeen is his club, so Rangers have just got to forget all about that and deal with what they need to do, is bring somebody else in.
Point penalty, I think it was, Football Association imposed as a result of financial irregularities by the previous owners. I mean, it was a mess. But Nathan Jones here has got Luton Town back top of League 2. And only Paris Saint-Germain and Manchester City have scored more goals than his free-scoring Hatters. And Nathan joins us now. How are you doing it, Nathan?
hard work. That's all I can put it down to. There's no sort of special recipe. We work hard at a lot of attacking play. We think we coach well. We've got a good environment, and as I said, we work hard. Obviously, a lot of God's will and a bit of luck along the way. But no, I put it down to hard work.
It's quite an horrific story, Luton's, isn't it? What happened to the football club and where it's been, as I said, these past 10 years. Is all of this making up for that now?
Well, I hope so. I think they've been in a dark place, really. Obviously long before I came, I was a player here. Didn't have a great career here, but I was. I remember the football club was filled, from top to bottom, was with real good people, and then. Obviously, they went through a bit of dark time. They got that deduction, went down to non-league. Manager John Still got them back into the league, and then obviously they want to take the next step. Now, when I met them, there's a lot of good people, not the same people, but a lot of parallels with the people that were there when I was there. And I said it's a club definitely on the up, on and off the pitch, and if we can get our new stadium as well. That will really help us.
Do hope so, Nathan. It's a terrific football club. You know better than me. But how important are the Lee boys to you?
Yeah, very well. The last month they were very important, but no, they are. I mean, Ollie's had to come through a bit of a tough time here. To be fair, I mean, I wanted to change the playing philosophy here. And he was paramount to that. He's a real good technical footballer. He's brave. He wants to get on the ball, and we needed those. And we built a lot around Ollie. And then he's obviously took a lot of stick last year, come through that, showed a lot of character. And then this year we've added real quality. So Ollie's qualities are coming through, but also the players he has around him now are of the same ilk, if you like, and same quality. So they are, and I said his brother's now sort of got in the side. We've got 4 very good strikers here. His brother's got in the side, and he's a wonderful technician as well, and has started to score goals. So, the last month they've really stepped up and obviously got headlines, and justifiably so.
Yeah, and good. Give them our best. Obviously, Dad's someone we've known very well, Nathan, down the years. Now, I wouldn't imagine for a moment that any game that you play you're going to tell me is easy, but it's Forest Green tomorrow. What have you said to the lads? 7, 8, 9, 10?
I'd be a fool to mention anything like that, but no, look, we're in good form at the minute, and we're proud of that, and we're an attack-minded side. We want to win games. We're not concerned by the amount we win games. If we win every game by 1, we'll be satisfied with that. It's just that we've got some good attacking players for the level. We work very hard on it, and every game at this level is really hard, because you don't know what you're going to get. Week to week is such difference in styles and philosophies at certain clubs and so on. Grounds, weather, everything comes into consideration when you play at this level. So no, we won't be complacent, and we go to Forest Green in good form, and hopefully we can bring back 3 points.
Nathan, delighted it's going well for you. Andy, a quick question.
No, I was just going to say, when you're talking about, where you are in the league, Nathan, and you're talking about doing everything right, how difficult or how easy is it been to keep the players kind of level, to keep them focused without getting carried away?
Oh, no, it's been good. I mean, to be honest, we've invested quite a lot in our recruitment here. So we don't just recruit good footballers, we recruit good athletes, good human beings, we've got no passengers, no plonkers, if you like. We've got good people here. They all want to achieve something, and the thing is about it is we've probably got 22 first-team players.
Okay.
That if I was to change any one, it wouldn't diminish from the side. So the competition is really rife at the minute. So if 1 or 2 know they get complacent, they know that there's 2 or 3 looking to replace them, and that's a real good thing for a manager to have, But they're a good group. I can't say it enough. They're a pleasure,
Good.
That's the biggest thing for me as a manager is the group I work with. They come in every day. They want to get better. They want to learn. They want to win games, and they're a pleasure to work with.
Well, Nathan, I know Fridays are always busy for you guys. Thank you very much for interrupting your day and talking to us, and couldn't be more pleased for you. Thanks.
Yes, thanks to you both.
Thanks, Nathan.
Thanks, Nathan. Nathan Jones, manager of Luton Town. He's done a job and a half, hasn't he, already?
Well, he's missed out the most important thing. He's Welsh.
Yeah.
And he's got that characteristic.
Oh,
He's done a fantastic job there. Fantastic job. Recruitment is important. It's the most important thing at every football club. And it looks as though he's nailed that down, because he has sold some good players as well in that period. That, you know, he's replaced them with good players, but he's sold 1 or 2 good players on as well.
Well, thank you, Tony Pulis, the new manager of Rangers Football Club.
Should we say the future manager of Rangers Football Club?
Tony's with us all weekend. We've got a pretty good record of late of getting people back to work,
Yeah, we have.
so who knows?
Yeah.
Jason McAteer is also here, and so is Clive Allen. As regards the Championship, it's a big game for Wednesday all of a sudden, Matt, against the leaders Wolves. They need a result. The Owls tonight, 22:45 Mecca. And the FIFA Club World Cup, which is taking place, of course, in the United Arab Emirates. The final, the 2017 final, is tomorrow. Real Madrid against Gremio. We've got that live Saturday at 2000 Mecca on beIN Sports 1. All of the weekends, Premier League football live across our channels. As we always say, whatever else you do, have a good sporting weekend. It's not a bad idea to spend it with us here at beIN Sports.